Hi, I'm Elodie Pritchard, and welcome to my home, Elodie. It was named after my great-grandmother, Elodie Grafton. We're going to be open for spring pilgrimage this year, last week of March, first week of April. Come on in and I'll show you around. This is one of my things that I like to display. It's a dagger cane that belonged to the Spanish governor Don Manuel Gayoso de Lemos, and he lived at Concord, which burned. He was the first Spanish governor.
What if you could come home to a meal cooked by award-winning chefs and culinary artists every day? Well, you can with Cook Unity. Cook Unity is the first chef-to-meal delivery service that makes eating healthy, delicious meals completely convenient. You know the chefs you see on TV or in five-star kitchens? Those are the chefs that create your Cook Unity meals. This service is so easy to use. Just set your preferences, choose your meals, heat, and plate. I've just had my first week's meals with Cook Unity, and I can tell you these are really delicious and so easy to make. One thing I love to do with this service is to try something new. You can select from a whopping 350 plus meals each week. I've eaten meals that I've never tried before and loved each and every one. All I want you to do is give Cook Unity a chance. Order 1 week's food to see for yourself how delicious, healthy, and convenient this service really is. They're going to make it easy and affordable. Order now using our promo code to save 50% off your first order. Look, you know we are extremely busy restoring Hope Farm, so we need meals that are easy and effortless. The meals are delivered fully cooked, so all you have to do is heat them up. Dinner is done in as little as 2 minutes. Go to cookunity.com/ORN50 or click the link in the description and use my code ORN50 and get 50% off your first order of Cook Unity meals to try them out yourself. There's always something new to try.
We're now at the rear of the entry hall, and this is a portrait of Captain Thomas Rose, who's most well known for being the contractor who built Stanton Hall. He was a master carpenter, and he built Elms Court, and he built Edgewood, and he didn't get paid for one of his houses, and right before the Civil War, he killed himself because he was broke. Everybody thought he was crazy, but he wasn't. He was broke. This is the front parlor, and this room has more historic artifacts than any other room in the house. The portrait over here is Robert Rose, who was Captain Thomas Rose's son, and he's painted with a little hammer in his hand because Thomas Rose was a contractor. Down on the table over here, I've got some old family albums from before the Civil War, and I've also got my great-great-great-great-grandfather's Civil War diary, which is very interesting to look at. On the table here, I've got the book that Captain Thomas Rose used to build Stanton Hall. This was his book. If you look, you can see his name here, and it's a fabulous book. I had to have it rebound. It had fallen apart. On the other side of the room, there's hanging. There's several pieces of money, and it was Civil War money that I found in my father's drawer, which I think had been in the family since before the Civil War. And I even found one small note that's a Revolutionary Era note, it's 1774. Under those is my great-great-great-great-grandmother's Civil War Union pass to go back and forth across the Union lines. I think she was in love with a fellow named Henry Elias Munger, and she ended up marrying him, but things didn't turn out so well, and that'll be part of the story you have to hear when you come to see the house. To the right and behind me is a portrait of my great-grandfather, William Howard Pritchard, who was a purser on the Anchor Steamboat Line, and he came down to Natchez and fell in love with it and bought 2 lots on the river on Clifton Avenue and built his house there, and it's still there, and it's called the Pritchard House. These are a set of bayonets that my father probably brought home from World War II. On this wall over here, we've got Mr. Wade, who I'm related to, and he built riprap for his daughter. These portraits right here, this is Catherine Miller, who is my great aunt, and she is credited with starting the Natchez pilgrimage with her friends. Down below is a portrait of my father and Mrs. Geisenberger when they were king and queen of the pilgrimage. This was before Daddy was married. The silver is Grafton silver. It belonged to my great aunt Catherine Miller, and it was handed down in the family from her mother, Elodie, to Catherine. This is a portrait of my mother that was painted in 1950 by M. Ciani, an Italian painter who became quite famous. He's painted presidents and kings and princes and all kinds of people. This is my little dog Pumpkin. He's a purebred Pomeranian, and he has tried to tear up everything in this house, including half the furniture. But he's a sweet dog, and we're hoping he'll be quiet for the rest of the tour. This bed belonged to my great-grandmother, Elodie, and she was Thomas Rose's daughter. And this bed set came with it. It's not a 3-piece set, but these are a set, and this was her bed, and that's she on the wall behind me. This is what I call my Hall of Frames instead of my Hall of Fame. I found all these old pictures of relatives when I was going through my dad's things, and I decided to have them framed and hang them. They're relatives and close friends. Here's a collection of arrowheads that my father found out at his property. And over here is a collection of pottery that I found on the river when I was 13 years old. And when I moved back from Los Angeles to Natchez, I found out that it's 2,000 years old. I had 2 archaeologists look at it, and it's really, really old. It's older than the Natchez Indians. This is a den where we spend most of our entertaining time. We do still have some historical things in here with stories behind them, but you'll have to wait until pilgrimage to find out what these stories are. There's a picture on the opposite wall of Robert Rose as a grown man, and that was the little boy whose picture you saw in the front room. Over here are some drawings that my father did during World War II, and they were making fun of his commanders, and he would pin them up in the middle of the night, and everybody would laugh except for the commanders. We're in the kitchen now, and there's not a whole lot to show in here, but there are a few things. The painting over here on the wall is a painting of my great aunt, Annette Pritchard, and it was taken about 1897 when she was about 2 years old. That's a painting of me when I went on a cruise as a young girl. And over here is a fold-out of the Natchez Mardi Gras from 1900. It was a fold-out from the Natchez paper. And it's real interesting. It's got all the floats and horses and everything with it. The flowers on the wall, my great aunt Anna did those. She was quite an artist. She drew a lot of things when she was about 9 years old, and she was very talented with it. This is Kirby Grafton, and he was the editor of the Natchez Democrat. This house is only going to be on tour this 1 year, so you really do need to come and see it. There's so many stories I've got inside that I haven't told you yet. And I have a Lincoln signature and all kinds of things to talk about. So be sure to come this pilgrimage.
Join us in Natchez, Mississippi for Spring Pilgrimage 2025, March 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, and then again on April 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. We have don't miss events just for you. Only during this time, 17 of our private homes, never open for tour, will open their doors and welcome you Natchez, Mississippi hospitality style. Looking for things to do in the evening? Join us for special events, dining, dancing, and more. The kind of hospitality only the South and only Natchez has to offer. We can't wait to welcome you to Pilgrimage 2025. More details will be coming soon, but make your plans to be with us now.